Hello, this is Pixie doing another video. Seems quite interesting developments. This is strange, these people got like be walking around at night. I think they're patrolling the area, but then what are they doing? I've seen a few people do that, sort of wandering around. The police in the area. So over in my town, Reading, there's been stuff on the news about a student that's disappeared from the Thames, the university, Reading University campus. And on occasions there are some weird things that happen in this town. So it'd be strange. It would be strange and interesting to see what happens. He's just vanished, so who knows? And I mean, I'll have to have a little look. Things are start to emerge. What his movements were that night. Did one night he just go off and disappear? I mean, he must have gone somewhere. He must have had some friends. Somebody must have known what's happened. So they haven't really given much in a profile. So I might have to have a look up, check out his profile. And then there's also there was a student going missing in Hull. And there wasn't really anything, but it's not the first time stuff has happened in Hull. I mean, it's the they had reports about the dog man. I'm gonna have to check what happened last time. There was these reports about a dog man. We probably had freaky weather as well, and we've had freaky weather at the moment with this sort of cold snap we had. There was some Arctic vortex or something was mentioned, and it's just been rainy sort of weather really though, so I can't see why it's so crazy. But I guess these things happen. At the moment it's foggy, but the actual camera's not even picking it up. This is strange. Its light definition's different. So yeah, there's some research to look at anyway, some mysterious stuff to look at. See if there's been any other sightings of the dog man prior to disappearing, and also where did she go? So there was, because normally the suspicion would be like would be the last person she was seen with, but they seem to be quite open. I've told the police, you know, what's happened, their experiences. So she's picked up by outside a nightclub. She's on her own. Taxi driver took her somewhere. I'll have to look exactly at the details where he's taken her. And she spoke to some other person that night, but she just vanished. So I was just watching her parents were quite upset, you know, wanting their daughter to make contact. But it could be one of these things. She might have just disappeared. Maybe she met up with some guy. But then why would she, you know, a guy would travel in the taxi with her? There wouldn't be an issue there. And the taxi driver is the taxi driver. Well, you know, he's just too open about his movements and so on. So nothing concludes that any sort of foul play. They'll probably check his taxi for certain things anyway. I mean, it's early days. I mean, if you remember before, like, already had the had this thing where somebody was trying this insurance scam and blew his boiler up. And what he did is he had, I think the thing is as well, someone's got narcissistic traits. They try to get themselves in there, and I think they're clever, so they make out themselves something good, you know. Oh no, I did this, I did that. So there are some people that do these crafty things and try to misdirect. So I have to see if there's any interviews, but then again, it seems to be fairly low key at the moment. To see what's said, and also check when the last time the dog man came out. It was I think it was the colder end of the year. Definitely was wet weather. I'd have to see exactly what connects and ties up with the findings. So yeah, a little bit of research on that. See where it goes. And also what might have happened to this bloke at the Thames Valley University. I mean, there's been other things as well. Reading University, Thames Valley University somewhere else. Yeah, but basically the Reading University. I mean, in the past there was a spat of suicides and things like that. So I could probably Google that up, get the information, and find out what's going on. And what's else been going on? I think emotionally been up and down. I think it's because basically you just got to stay away from stuff. If you're sensitive about something in the past, you realise there's triggers. So I think I've probably covered this before. I don't think there's any major triggers there. I'm just trying to think out why. What have I done today that's made it a bit more sensitive? I've been sort of doing some research, but I haven't been consciously thinking of any particular person. It's just one of the things, really. I guess it's quite sensitive, and I think I've covered codependency. Basically, I probably have a bit of that, and I just don't have any sort of barriers. And you know, it's basically I raised myself a certain amount. My mum worked long hours. My dad wasn't very well. It still isn't, to be honest. And I just didn't really have the support or praise from my parents, so I had to find my own way. And you know, when somebody's quite nice or a lot of praise, it just feels a bit strange. And I should have really set it up with some sort of like barriers there, but I guess I was having such a good time at the time, and it was one of these things. I had a good sort of vibe, so I just ran with it. And I don't normally get that, so I don't know. It's just one of the odd things. But I'm open to what the future might hold. And it's very strange, you know, the people that do like you, you're not so interested in. Oh, let's start on this side then. Got an ambulance coming up behind me, so we can go on the left side. Otherwise, if I blocked it off, you wouldn't be able to go for the red light, which we're going to do now. Yep, thinking smart. Okay, some people follow it behind, so they try to cut through the lights and stuff. Make out they had to get out of the way for the ambulance, but now they have to move behind the ambulance to get ahead of the traffic. It's a bit sick, but people do things like that. So yeah, I mean, there's analysis myself, and also if people fall into a certain category of being narcissistic, it's not that they're narcissists. It may be that they're just emotionally not capable of giving out the love I want. But for some reason, I just don't care, and I just end up putting energy into them anyway. See, so it's like a doomed thing to do, really. You know, just want to put some energy into a person. So in essence, I've probably done myself a favour by getting out of the loop that way. I don't think I would have on my own. It basically been booted out by her. And so I mean, if things still trigger you in the, say, months down the line, so it's been about 3 months, let's see, 3, maybe 4 months now, let's get into the 4th month, but if you still get emotionally triggered, even at a lower level, just sort of cling on to hope or anything like that, you would be ready for contact. That's what it's saying. I mean, in the same way, if somebody, their presence made you angry, you wouldn't want to do that. I mean, I was kind of angry at myself earlier. I said, look, I'm not interested, right? I don't want to bloody know. I'm just not interested in this person at all. You know, I don't want my mind slipping in that direction. It wasn't like I was massively attracted to her. I just, it was the personality, it was the energy of the woman. It was, no, she wasn't bad looking actually. I won't lie. She was good looking, but I can't lie. I mean, she doesn't like the idea that a friend could find her attractive. I don't know why. I mean, I am a bloke, but we do think different to women. I'm not going to say like you have a great dress. I might be thinking you got a great dress and you look fantastic. It's not going to be quite the same way. So you know, or where you got your shoes, they look really nice. I'm going to be like, well, you've got lovely ankles. that match them shoes. It's just one of these things. It's just a bit more explicit, I think, in a bloke's brain. But anyway, that's completely veering off the subject. How alien we are as men and women. We're very different. So yeah, so if you're not really in the right headspace, don't go there. You just got to really be vigilant with yourself. The boundaries are already in. I just wouldn't want to go there again. You know, I think it would just screw me up. So that's why I wouldn't do that anyway. I just sometimes think, what would have been as friends? I would have think, well, where would we be in a moment? I don't know. It's difficult. Can you have so many feelings for somebody and just be a friend? I think it would just like reprogramming my brain, so it's like I was on drugs anyway. So I can forgive myself because I was just being my animal side. It's you know, mate. It's like, well, let's go, do this. So it was chemically pushing it one way. It's a little unfair that it's built like that. You know, but then again, it's the boundaries. If you don't set any boundaries, I'm free fall. It's like, yeah, you know, I basically, at that point in time, I'm fearless, confidence, I don't mind. I'm probably at one of my strongest and most powerful states, most vulnerable states as well, because to help the other person, it wouldn't really bother me, I don't think, what I would do. So it's sweet in one way, but is romance dead though? There's modern society. So there's golden rules as a guide, and maybe, I don't know, women, if women maybe would do women, possibly they shouldn't rush to say I love you or anything like that. It's something you don't need to tell someone, but you can feel for someone. It's easier if a woman loves the bloke, maybe, but then again, I had someone say something like that. And my brother said, look, she's on the internet, she's, you know, she's not real, mate, sort of thing. So, like I said, I think I mentioned this one about before, some Russian woman, and possibly she wasn't. It was like, there was a site called Face Party, and I picked up a few people sort of dropped messages. This person just fired an email address to me, so I wrote to her, and they wrote a lot. They wrote a lot all the time, and it was pretty. I mean, it could be that they were really clever scammers and just whacking out these letters, but she was handwriting them all. And I would say that she probably was, if she was a scammer, she might have developed some attachment there. She wasn't asked about meeting up. She was just saying that she fell in love with me and that she would want to make love all night long and things like that. She wrote to me something like that, and about cooking me up stroganoff or something. To be honest, I wish, you know, sometimes you wish you kept contact with people. Because it wouldn't have been a bad thing, but no, it's just gone. I mean, I didn't access the account for a while, and then the email just vanished, so it's just like vanished forever. So it's like what's she called? Yeah, I don't know, Anastasia, Valentina, or something, I don't know, it's just quite an elaborate name. It's quite nice though, but it's well gone now. Yeah, she's probably married with loads of kids now, or whoever. I don't know where she is, but yeah, it's one of those things. You just live and learn. But when people say they love you, it can, you know, you need to be with that person. Don't ever say it in an email or text it. It's just ridiculous. Or don't write it in a letter, because it's not going to represent in the same way. It sounds hard, but you have to think about these other forms of communication are just new adaptations. Now, if you're already in love with this person, they're in love with you, then it doesn't matter what you write to. I don't think it's going to be a big problem. But then, if you write it, it may not. You know, it depends how they associate letters and stuff, and how they really feel. You know, some people mask their feelings, which happens on occasions. I remember picking up when I was younger. I was a part of this gang in the past, and I recognised this person's letter, and what it was, this woman, I knew this bloke's girlfriend lived up the road, but I would never want to get into a fight with the guy. He'd tear my head off. I had rumours that he had to fight 3 people at the same time, and I was only sort of, you know, 14, 15, and the last thing I wanted to do was fight someone who looks like he's about 20. and for some reason he was still at school. I don't know what was going on there. And yeah, he had this note was written by his girlfriend how she wants to have his baby and stuff. It was on the floor, and I wondered if he just dropped it on the floor, or maybe he just didn't give a shit. Basically, he thought, "Blimey, we're having a relationship. I enjoy the physical side, but I don't want to have the I don't want this emotional attachment." I don't know. I just don't know. But my big mistake was I brought it to school, and then this other person read it as part of the gang, and they were passing around. Probably said he found it, and I thought, I don't know whose it is. Nobody said anything to me. I didn't say a word, because I mean, otherwise this guy would talk my head off if I, said, "Oh, we found the letter. It must have fallen out of your pocket, mate, or something." He'd be like, "You bugger," or whatever. But that's just the way things are, I guess. So yeah, so it's kind of like different sides of the fence. It's knowing what works for you, and I think any heightened emotional state is considered like a mental health thing. Maybe we just live in these times, people stereotype people. I don't know. I don't want to take the magic out of such a thing. So yeah, and then there's some interesting things. It talks about boundary issues as well, and it says probably issues around your parents that you developed, and I can't change that. If I had a dad that didn't show any love, and a mother she loves me, but it wasn't really. She would do it through nurturing. Give me food, or well, it's probably food. I don't know if it's really food. I used to eat whatever she cooked me. That was the rule. No, just difficult. Yeah, I mean, I didn't get the time maybe the other parents had. Definitely, it's just a different thing. But we live and learn. It's our life. I mean, I don't know. I don't mind giving people cuddles, but I didn't really receive any when I was a young boy. But then again, I guess my parents are more affectionate now. It's weird for some reason. But I don't forget the past. That was a mistake. See. So yeah, I don't know. There's probably quite a few guys out there who've had checkered past, and to be honest, we're all everyone's like this. It's not like this idea that you feel somehow different from everybody else. There's some people who had much harder times than I have. There's some kid who was a bit of a nutter. But he said his dad went to prison because he took a blowtorch to someone's face. Imagine what sort of a dad that'd be growing up. And if he sees him as a hero, how does he see his father, knowing that he's got a hardened criminal? And I've also got a chap I worked with, and he was he had some horrific experience. God, his sister was raped, and he was threatened to be killed. So I won't go into any other details outside of that, because it's probably sort of something you couldn't talk about. But I went to some meeting, and they said about victim support and stuff, and he just said about it. It's like, what the hell? That's pretty crazy. I sat next to the guy, I don't know anything about him, and then he throws that out. It really makes you think about these kind of. It's not like you want to play a point game. It's not like, oh, I'm worse than you, I'm more of a victim, or whatever you want to see yourself. That's probably the worst thing, is you should never see yourself as a victim. And there's certain boundaries can go from different sides of the fence. There's things maybe you shouldn't tell a guy, or you can tell a guy, depending on really what your motivation is. If you're just wanting to be his friend, like, does he need to know your dating history? I mean, what would that serve as a friend? How is that useful to him? I mean, you're kind of saying, I've had such a bad time. If only I could have a real man in my life. It sounds a bit horrible like that, but that's kind of a little bit gets misread by guys. Look at this, the mistiest place in the world. crazy. You have to let me go, my friend. We're all gonna die. But yeah, it's definitely misty now. Yeah, so there's things, there's language. I mean, I don't know what it's probably the reverse actually. Like when guys become more feminine, women get completely turned off. And I mean, it's meant to be important. I've got to tell you about my dating history. Sort of, these are the no-nos and something, like you're telling them the rules. But isn't that? I mean, I don't know. You just don't really. You just, as a bloke, you're not really bothered. You're not really interested. I don't know. There might be some things. You know, if someone said that they were really bad, you know, I had a bad experience in a former relationship, it still affected me. So I don't like men who are this or that, or you know, I don't like this kind of behaviour. That's fine. I think I won't go into details further than that. Because there's two things you can create as well, and also you can create this idea that if the guy cares about you and you're telling him about these bad experiences, he's absorbing them bad experiences, and he thinks, well, that guy's affected my relationship. You know, if there's an opportunity to get something back on him, I might do that. It really depends on the bloke. Or it's off-putting. You think, well, if you see yourself as a victim and I don't, that means you're carrying around baggage that I don't have, and it's not going to go anywhere. I don't know. It's a really difficult one. It's one of these things you see. What the hell? You can't put yourself there. Someone stuck themselves right in a bloody corner. And as a result, he's on a double yellow line. As a result, anyone coming to the road, a car coming up the road, he's buggered. He's got somebody bothered around in the dark. And what he's doing, bloody clown. So I don't know. I really don't know if it's helpful. I just talk about stuff. And everyone's got their own experiences. I mean, probably a lot of people have got it more clued up than I am. I'm just researching it. I'm just a guy. Doing different research. Right, this is Biggie sign off. There's Biggie sign off.